Let's quickly cross to Pius Ambo, who I understand is in Otukpo local government area where announcement of results are expected. Pius, good evening. Yes, I think I can safely say good evening now. What's the status?
Thank you, Ladi. I am right here at VIP Polling Unit 1, GRA, Otukpo local government. I just sent the house of the former Senate President, Senator David Mark. Right now, what is happening behind me is the declaration of the presidential election results, where a certain political party had just been declared winner by, you can hear the excitement behind that. They are doing collation, counting, and sorting across the polling units in Otukpo local government where I am standing. Earlier in the day, I was in Makurdi, where we started with the distribution of materials from the rack centers, followed up to the polling units where elections conduct was peaceful. We came to Otukpo from there. We went to some rural polling units in Ogioma and the Aland community in Akpa before we came back to Otukpo Township. Elections have been largely peaceful. Collation is ongoing. Results are being declared. Winners are emerging from the polling unit level as we speak.
Pius, was there at any point where the BVAS machine didn't work, people had to be turned back to return, or they had spare machines that they used to authenticate?
Yeah, this morning, one of the civil society persons in Makurdi that I know called me and said a polling unit at Nima, St. Joseph Catholic Church, Nima, was only admitting the people whose initials began with A, meaning that anybody whose name is Bola Lawal may not be able to vote at that polling unit. After a while, she called back and said that it appears that people with A initials were many, so they had moved every other initials from B down to other polling units. So she had found her polling unit, but it was far away from where she was used to voting. Now, the problem with that is that while these people went to their normal polling unit to cast their votes, their names were moved from their original polling unit to others without a message, without a text, without a direction, until they fought, confronted, and all that before they were told where their polling units were. But eventually, they found where to vote. So generally, that report came to us in Makurdi, it came to us in Otukpo, and other local governments across the state. So it's a question of communication where they have moved certain voters from one polling to the other. But to say BVAS didn't work is not so true, because from the places we went, I voted myself. BVAS worked exactly perfectly well, and I got voting very early.
Why do I envy you right now?
So your name starts with A, or is it M? Maybe that's the challenge.
We're going to come back to that, medicine. But just a quick one, Pius, before you go. In reporting, you said voting has been largely peaceful, other than the security issues that Millicent asked you about. Any other incidences that didn't make it a perfect process for you?
Security checks along the roads were very tight. They would stop my vehicle, search my boots, search people in my vehicle, even when I have an and then the sticker on my car. So security was top-notch. One of the things that happened today that the governor spoke about was the arrest of the PDP campaign director general in Benue State, Dr. Cletus Tokia. In his response, he said that Dr. Tokia was only arrested with just 100,000 naira, which cannot pass for money meant for inducing voters. And so he asked the EFCC to release him immediately. That's the only point that you say voters security or election monitoring had any issue at all. But as we speak, it is believed that EFCC picked the director general of the PDP campaign council in Benue State. The governor has followed up with a call that he should be released because he was only found with just 100,000 naira on him. Other than that, we have not had any issues going through the polls from Makurdi down to Otukpo here.
Well, thank you, Pius. I guess we'll have to find out more about that one, considering the CBN policy position and all of that.
And then the FCC's position
and then
all
the
of
FCC's
that.
position.
So they've been on ground.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Pius. Again, it's a question of different strokes for different folks. Pius's testimony, if you like, tended to give the impression that if that was replicated in many other places, when he started with the people with the letter A were the only ones I was going to say.
I was worried.
That seems to be another dimension to an already existing challenge, but perhaps not.